My girlfriend laughed. Of course I told my friends about your small problem. I said nothing. Then I accidentally forwarded our steamy texts to her dad when returning his lost USB stick I found in her bag. The silence from her side is golden. I'm Patrick, 28 male. Until about 3 weeks ago, Catherine, 26, was it for me. 2 years together. Good years, I thought. Easy rhythm, future talks, all that. There was a personal issue. My issue. Let's call it performance anxiety, leading to a quicker finish than ideal. PE, if you know, you know. I was self-conscious, shared it only with her. She seemed supportive. It's okay, babe, we'll figure it out. Sweet, right? Or so I thought. Cut to 3 weeks ago. Saturday night. Catherine's chill girls' night in with Rachel, Heather, and Janet. I was home. Around 10 p.m., I realized I'd left my noise-canceling Sennheisers in Catherine's car. Needed them for an early work flight the next morning. Texted her, hey, still up? Left my headphones in your car, mind if I grab them quickly? Reply, sure, doors unlocked, we're just gossiping, lol. Drove over. Her building's quiet. I let myself in, calling softly, Catherine? Just me. No answer. Then giggles from her bedroom, door ajar. I heard my name. Then it. Rachel's voice, braying. Seriously though, how does he even last long enough for you two? Catherine? My Catherine. Voice dripping with mocking amusement. Oh my goodness, Rachel, sometimes it's like, blink and you miss it. Remember that time after my cousin's wedding? 30 seconds, tops. We call it his sprint finish now. Full on, side-splitting laughter. Janet. No way. Catherine, you're brutal. Does he know you tell us this stuff? Pfft. Of course I told my friends about his small problem. What else are best friends for? Besides, it's hilarious. You should see his face sometimes. All serious, like he's trying to defuse a bomb with a faulty wire. More laughter. I just stood there, frozen. World tilted. Not just sharing personal stuff, the glee, the mockery, our intimate moments as cheap laughs. My supportive girlfriend. My blood turned to ice. I didn't barge in or yell, not my style. I'm a slow burn, planner type. Quietly I backed out, unnoticed. Headphones could wait. Driving home, engine humming, my mind raced with chilling clarity, not anger. This wasn't a mistake. It was a fundamental lack of respect, a betrayal so profound it vaporized everything. At home, I sat in the dark. Shock wore off, replaced by cold, hard resolve. She made me her punchline. The next morning, I was packing for my flight. Catherine had been over a few days prior and left her usual trail. Lip gloss, an earring, and a small black Kingston USB stick on my desk. I'd asked her about it before. Oh, that's my dad's, she'd said vaguely. He needed me to save some boring work files for him. Keep forgetting to give it back. Her dad, Mr. Walter Henderson, owned Henderson Hardware. Pillar of the community type, a bit old-fashioned, definitely valued his reputation. An idea, very quiet, very methodical, began to form around that USB stick. I said nothing to Catherine that day. Update 1. Thanks for the responses and support. It helps. Here's the next part. That Sunday, after discovering Catherine's betrayal and before my work trip, my mind was a whirl. I felt this desperate need to understand how I could have missed this side of her. I remembered she'd sometimes use my laptop if hers was charging. On a hunch, I checked my browser history for cloud storage sites she might have accessed. Bingo. She'd logged into her personal cloud drive and forgotten to log out. It felt like an invasion of privacy. But what she'd done to me was a deeper violation. In a folder carelessly labeled Stuff was a goldmine. Backups of old phone content, including our conversations, screenshots of texts, saved photos. Later that day, I tried to talk to her on the phone to give her a chance. Catherine, I said, trying to keep my voice even. About last night when your friends were over, did my name come up at all, in any unflattering way? Her response was cool, almost bored. Your name? No, why would it? We were just talking about silly TV shows. Are you okay? That bald-faced lie, after what I'd heard, solidified my resolve. Any guilt I had about looking at her cloud files vanished. She wasn't just mocking, she was a practiced liar. I spent some time that evening going through those files, downloading anything that showed the stark contrast between her private mockery and her explicit expressions of desire for me. It was all there. I went on my 3-day work trip. Radio silence from me was unusual. Catherine texted, "Have a good flight, babe X, miss you." I gave curt answers. I needed to finalize the plan involving her dad's USB. My revenge wouldn't be a Hollywood plot. I'm an IT project manager. I deal with data, systems, meticulous execution. My plan would be appropriate, proportional, and, importantly, deniable. The core was Mr. Henderson's USB stick. She said he needed boring work files. I had a different set in mind. Those texts and photos from her cloud backup, explicit, R-rated, things no conservative, image-conscious father should see, would paint a very interesting picture of her, especially against her sprint finish comments. When I got back from my trip, I was all smiles. Hey, sorry I was quiet. Work was just intense. Catherine seemed relieved. The next day, I found the USB again. Oh, hey, Catherine, I totally forgot your dad's USB was still on my desk. I should get this back to him. Yeah, probably, she said, phone-focused. You can just drop it with him if you're passing by. No worries, I replied. What files did he need on it again? Want to make sure it's all there. My voice was a masterpiece of casual helpfulness. Oh, inventory spreadsheets or something? I just dragged a folder over. It should be fine. Utterly oblivious. Perfect. On my computer, I created a new folder on Mr. Henderson's USB. Important. Backup. Inside, I meticulously placed screenshots of her most colorful texts to me. A few of the more suggestive photos she'd sent, no explicit faces for my own deniability. Crucially, an innocuous audio file, her humming a tune, to vary file types, making it look more like a genuine, messy backup. I also added a few actual boring documents, some old public domain PDF ebooks on woodworking, to bulk it out. The final touch? I found the original folder Catherine had put on there, which did contain some boring spreadsheets, and renamed it Old Versions Archive. Later that afternoon, I drove to Henderson's Hardware. Mr. Walter Henderson was there. Afternoon, Mr. Henderson, I said politely. Catherine asked me to drop this off for you. Ah, Patrick, good to see you. Yes, thank you. No problem at all, I replied. Hope everything's on there that you need. Catherine wasn't too sure what was urgent, so I just made sure to put a backup of what looked like her recent personal stuff in that important backup folder, just in case. You know how it is, better safe than sorry. I gave a little tech guy shrug. He grunted. Right, kids these days. The rest of the day was quiet. Around 9 p.m., my phone buzzed. Catherine. Followed by, what'd you do? And then, Dad called me. He's beyond angry. What was on that USB stick, Patrick? I waited, typed back. The USB stick? Your dad's? I just gave it to him like you asked. Made sure to put your files in a backup folder for him. Why, what's up? The 3 dots indicating she was typing appeared and disappeared. Several times. Then my phone rang. Her. I let it go to voicemail. The silence from her side after that initial frantic burst was golden. Update 2. The fallout wasn't immediate fireworks, more a slow, hissing pressure cooker. After Catherine's frantic texts, I replied later. Sorry, was in the shower. What's wrong? Did your dad not find his files? I can talk him through it if he's confused. I labeled everything pretty clearly. Utterly innocent. Her reply was a garbled mess. You know what you did, Patrick. My dad is going to disown me. He saw everything. Everything. I played dumb. Everything? What are you talking about, Catherine? I just saw some spreadsheets in a folder you'd copied. What else was on there? The next day, Rachel, her primary cheerleader in Mocking Patrick Fest, DM'd me on Insta. Seriously, what is wrong with you? Catherine is a wreck. Her dad is losing his mind. You're an awful person for doing that to her. It was just girl talk. Are you going to ruin her life over a joke? My reply. Hi, Rachel. I returned a USB stick. As for girl talk, when it involves mocking personal private details shared in confidence, it stops being a joke and becomes a betrayal. Catherine knows what she said. Maybe ask her? Crickets. Then, she said you're twisting things. You're just so sensitive because you can't handle a little teasing. Grow up. I should grow up? Then came Heather and Janet with softer accusatory DMs. Patrick, Catherine is really upset. Can't you guys just talk this out? My responses were polite, brief, and pointed back to Catherine's actions. Later that evening, my doorbell rang. Her mom, Carolyn. She looked like she hadn't slept. Patrick, she started, wringing her hands. Walter, my husband, he's furious, livid. He saw those texts on the USB and the pictures. She looked horrified. Carolyn, I said calmly. Catherine asked me to return her father's USB. She said it had his work files. I found a folder of her personal backups on it, and thinking I was being helpful, made sure it was clearly marked. I had no idea what specific content was in her personal backups. But the things she said, The language. Walter feels so humiliated and angry with Catherine for being so reckless, and for what she apparently said about you. It made her look duplicitous. She was indeed duplicitous, Carolyn, I said. What Walter doesn't know is why I might have been less than careful. He doesn't know that I overheard Catherine and her friends brutally mocking me for a very private issue I had trusted only her with. The recording of her denying it the next day only confirmed her deceit. Carolyn looked stunned. Catherine mocked you? And lied? The point is, Carolyn, Catherine broke my trust. What happened with the USB? An unfortunate consequence of her own carelessness. Carolyn started to cry. But Patrick, her father, is threatening to cut her off. He said she's embarrassed the family name. He wants her to move home. This could ruin her relationship with him. Can't you just call him, tell him it was a mistake? The entitlement. I should fix it. Carolyn, a little ice in my voice. With all due respect, Catherine made her bed. She ridiculed me, betrayed my confidence, and was careless. The consequences she's facing are a direct result of her choices. I felt a pang for Carolyn. I am sorry you're in this position, but this is between Catherine and her father, and between Catherine and me, there's nothing left. Carolyn left, defeated. Next morning, blocked calls from Catherine, then a text from a new number. You are a terrible person, Patrick. My dad is making me come to a family meeting. He's talking about my job, my apartment. You did this. You'll pay for this. I'll make sure everyone knows what a sick, twisted person you are. Ah, threats. Predictable. Little did she know I was prepared for that too. Update 3. Catherine's threat to make me pay wasn't idle. The family meeting with her dad apparently went badly. Carolyn later told me Mr. Henderson was apoplectic. The texts, photos, and then Carolyn, trying to defend Catherine, letting slip about the mockery created a perfect storm. He was deeply disappointed. Put her job at his company and her apartment funding under review. Catherine, cornered, launched her smear campaign. Vague social media posts first, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Then Rachel spread rumors. I was controlling, vindictive, had major anger issues, and had maliciously leaked texts to destroy her family. The narrative was, I was an unhinged ex. I'm an IT project manager. Reputation is key. Whispers started. A colleague, Aaron, mentioned he'd heard some odd stuff. This was the dirty trick I'd anticipated. I was ready. During a minor argument weeks before the USB incident, Catherine had texted, You think you're so perfect, but everyone has secrets. I could ruin you if I wanted to. Just takes one well-placed rumor. She'd unsent it, but not before I'd screenshotted the preview. It had stuck with me, a little red flag, and I had the recording of her flatly denying the mocking incident. When the rumors got too close, I didn't engage publicly. First, a carefully worded email to Catherine, Rachel, Heather, and Janet. Subject, defamation and harassment. Body. Ladies, it has come to my attention that false and defamatory statements are being circulated about me. To be clear, 1. Catherine betrayed my trust by mocking a private medical issue. 2. The contents of the USB stick given to Mr. Henderson were there due to Catherine's own actions. My only action was returning property. 3. Any further attempt to damage my reputation will be met with appropriate legal action. I have documented evidence of Catherine's prior threat to ruin me with rumors, screenshot available, and a recording of her lying about the mocking incident. This is your one and only warning to cease and desist, Patrick. Second, to key people like Aaron, I said. Going through a messy breakup with Catherine Henderson. She shared private stuff. I confronted her, she denied it, and now she's retaliating with lies. It's ugly, but I have evidence to refute anything. Just wanted you to hear my side. Aaron nodded. That's rough. Henderson Hardware? Good to know. I trust you over random gossip. The email's effect, potent. Panicked silence. Rachel went private. Heather and Janet vanished. Catherine called from a new number. Patrick, you can't threaten lawyers. I'll lose my job. My dad is barely speaking to me. You've done enough. Shrill. Catherine, my voice calm. I haven't done anything to you. You are experiencing the consequences of your actions. You mocked me. You lied. You were careless. Then you tried to defame me. These are the results. But it was just a joke. A silly joke. Are you really going to ruin my life over one silly joke? Was it one silly joke, Catherine, or a pattern of disrespect? Your joke was a betrayal. My actions are a response. You don't get to control the narrative by playing the victim. My friends won't even talk to me now because they're scared of your email, she cried. Rachel said you're unhinged. Rachel is entitled to her opinion, I said, but she's apparently wise enough to avoid a defamation lawsuit. You should learn from her. Goodbye, Catherine. I hung up. The satisfaction was quiet, like the calm after a nasty storm. Update 4. It's been a little over a month since D-Day, Discovery Day. The dust has settled. The silence from Catherine's side is complete. And honestly, it's peaceful. After my cease and desist email, the smear campaign died instantly. Rachel, Heather, and Janet are gone from my orbit. Good riddance. Consequences for Catherine were significant, entirely self-made. Mr. Henderson transferred her to inventory at a remote branch, counting bolts. A far cry from her social media guru role. Her allowance, funding her apartment, was cut. Last I heard, she was frantically looking for roommates. Her relationship with her father is in tatters. Carolyn still calls occasionally, just to talk. Sad, caught between her husband's rigid disappointment and her daughter's implosion. Walter barely speaks to Catherine. He told Carolyn, she showed us who she is. Now she has to live with it. Brutal, but true. Her social circle also took a hit. Not everyone finds cruel betrayal hilarious. The small problem she found so amusing? I'm seeing a specialist, taking proactive steps. Turns out it's a common issue. Focusing on myself since this mess has actually reduced a lot of the stress that likely contributed. Do I feel like a hero? No, just a guy pushed too far. My revenge wasn't grand destruction. It was surgical, using truth, her own words, her carelessness, so consequences landed squarely. There were moments of vulnerability, the initial shock. A night, about a week after I returned the USB, I felt incredibly lonely. Not for Catherine specifically, but for the relationship I thought I had. I grieved the lost 2 years, then let it go. I've been focusing on work, reconnected with old friends. Catherine never liked genuine people I see now. Even went on a tentative coffee date. Nice. Normal. I don't know if Catherine will ever truly understand or learn. Entitled people rarely have epiphanies. She probably still thinks she's the victim. That's her narrative to wrestle with. The silence from her side means she has no more power. Her words can't hurt me. Her laughter is just a bad memory. Someone commented that revenge is a dish best served cold. Mine was served at room temperature, with irrefutable evidence and a sprinkle of her own father's disappointment. I wouldn't wish this betrayal on anyone. But standing up for yourself is essential. When someone shows you their true colors, believe them. And then sometimes you have to calmly, methodically ensure they understand actions have very real, very personal consequences. Thanks for listening, Reddit. It's been cathartic. Now I think I'll go enjoy the quiet.